The concept of witchcraft is known all throughout the world. We are very familiar with the infamous Salem witch trials, but where did the origins of the concept of witchcraft begin? There are multiple theories about the formation of these covens, but no one knows for certain, and theories over time began to eschew the truth behind the history of witches. In 1962, anthropologist Margaret Murray published the book, The Witch Cult in Western Europe. The book describes the origin of witches and the witch cult hypothesis. The witch cult hypothesis is a discredited theory that proposes that the witch trials of the early modern period were an attempt to suppress a pre-Christian, pagan religion that had survived the Christianization of Europe. Murray's hypothesis stated that until the 17th century, there was a religion much older than Christianity, and it had supporters and followers among the ordinary and the rich. Central to the worship stood a horned god with two faces, known to the Romans as Janus or Dionysus. The horned god represented the cycle of the seasons and the harvests. It was believed that he died and periodically returned to life. On Earth, the horned god was represented by chosen human beings such as Thomas Becket and Joan of Arc. In the villages, the witches' meetings were presided over by the horned god. Christian observers of these events might have thought the witches were worshiping the devil, when in reality, they were celebrating the pre-Christian god. According to Murray, the local covens consisted of 13 members, 12 ordinary men and women, and an officer. All members were required to hold a weekly meeting and to attend the larger Sabbaths. There was, however, a very strict discipline in the covens, and whoever missed a meeting could be severely punished and sometimes put to death. With these kinds of interpretations, Murray created for the first time the idea of the witch as a practitioner of good magic and religious rites to ensure fertility of people and the land. This ran counter to all previous ideas about what witchcraft was in history and folklore. However, Murray's theory was dismissed not too long after she published her book. Most historians did not take her hypothesis seriously. Rather than accept Murray's naturalistic explanation for the magical feats and rituals ascribed to witches during the early modern trials, other scholars argued that the entire scenario was always fictitious and did not have any sort of naturalistic explanation. The supposed detail of the rituals and witchcraft practices described in the records were simply invented by victims under torture or threat of torture, based on the kinds of evil actions that clergy of the time would have expected to hear about. Some scholars, however, argue that there is some truth behind Murray's book. Scholars such as Arno Rundberg stated that a number of ordinary elements that were found in the details of the witches' gatherings. So, after further research, it was found that there were actual meetings of the witches. Feminist scholars have also taken up a variant of Murray's thesis about persecuted witches in medieval Europe as members of a religion, not one centering a horned god, but rather a cult of the mother goddess, who represented nature, motherhood, fertility, creation, and destruction. Due to the numerous false theories, modern-day witches struggle to suppress their historical stereotype, while most just practice Wicca. Wicca was founded by Gerald Gardner in the early 1950s. Most Wiccans accept the so-called Wiccan Rede, an ethical code that states, "If it harm none, do what you will." Wiccans believe in meditation and participate in rituals throughout the year, celebrating the new and full moon. Wiccan rites include invoking the aid of the deities, practicing ceremonial magic, and sharing a ritual meal. Most Wiccans believe in magic, which is known to be a law of nature intending to bring out real changes in the physical world. This magic is categorized into two groups: left-hand magic, which is malevolent magic, and right-hand magic, which is involved with good intentions. Even though there is no clear theory about the origins of witchcraft, Murray's theory began the flock of historians and folklorists seeking the truth of the unknown historical witchcraft. For hundreds of years, many had the idea of witches being nothing but pure evil. But due to the growth of the belief of Wicca, historians now have a gateway of seeking the lives of these historical covens.